I can't believe they gave us the keys to the Enterprise. It's kind of crazy, but here we are. How you doing, everybody? Good evening. My name is Robbie Lastella, and you're listening to the Bleacher Brothers Sports Network. But it's the Lastella Report you got tonight. I'm here with my co-host Tobey Schulman and Christian Proscia. Guys, how you doing?
Doing
What's up,
good,
man?
Robbie. We're doing good.
What's
Christian, we
up?
really wanted to get that in there, man. You've been waiting. You've been dying since like 9 a.m. this morning. I was like, guys, how do we want to do our introduction? And Christian's like, I want to do the What's Up, Brother. So
We needed
What's up,
that.
man?
We needed that, Christian.
Special team of people, special podcast, special moments.
I don't know if we'll get to our show on Thursday at this point, but for now, that's the plan. Tuesdays and Thursdays this week. But it's exciting to start this week following the two championship games, women and men's college basketball. They were really good this weekend. And they were fun to watch. I personally, before this year, my women's college basketball watching was bottom to none. And then this year, between LSU and Kim Mulkey and all their players, Caitlin Clark, Juju Watkins at USC, there's just so many different players and stuff. Their storylines are good. So that was it was just fun to watch. And in South Carolina, undefeated. I mean, the first since UConn and a couple years ago with Gino. Um, Iowa did their best. I mean, Caitlin Clark, 32 points, I think she had, but 87-75. South Carolina ended up winning that one. You guys get to watch that one at all?
A little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I had a really busy weekend, and I was, barely able to catch some of these games. But I, I really was just so surprised at how Caitlin Clark was not able to just do what she usually does. And I mean, Dawn did what Dawn does best, and she just neutralized Caitlin Clark. And I mean, it was really good to see the amount of people watch this women's game. I mean, I think they had 4 million total viewers more than the men's game did. And so that's amazing to see women's basketball where it's at right now. But it got me thinking about, is South Carolina maybe the best, or not best, but the undefeated team that has been talked about the least, maybe? Because I mean, I'm not a guy that's really focused on women's basketball too much. I'm really not going to lie, but I really didn't know much about this South Carolina team, and you would think that you would know a lot more about a team that is winning a championship undefeated.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I was, as you were talking, I'm sitting there thinking, and I named all of the stars of women's college basketball. I didn't name you South Carolina. I didn't name Camila Cardoso, who's one of the best players in NCAA. In my opinion, she won that game single handedly for them. She had 15 points, career high, 17 rebounds, and she's going pro this year. She announced that earlier in the year. And she said that helped her, get through the season. She didn't have to worry about it, and she didn't look like she had any worries in that national championship game.
No.
And now she's going to be, if she goes to the pros, she'll be fourth tallest player. And I just don't know. I guess her game is not flashy like Caitlin Clark. She's just in the paint, bullying and bruising, getting boards. So maybe she didn't get as many highlight plays on ESPN or whatnot, but she's a hooper.
No,
Yeah,
she
no,
is.
like y'all said, I think that this was like having 4 million viewers watching the women's national championship is very good for the sport. Women's basketball as a whole, both college basketball and WNBA, is on the rise. Like I think viewership throughout the sport has just increased, especially throughout the trail end of last year into this year, and it's inspiring for the young girls throughout all sports, knowing that across the board, women's sports is starting to get the love and the respect that they should, because they're putting the same amount of time and effort as the men. And before past couple of years, they haven't been talked about. So now having girls like Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Haley Van Lith, and all the other great college basketball players, like it's showing, like to the young girls coming up, hey, this can be me. The media and the world cares about women's sports.
And I think, all of these stars are going to be going to the pros soon. And in my opinion, the WNBA and college basketball for women is more popular, in my opinion, than the WNBA is.
Yes.
And I'm wondering if, over the next couple of years, we may see a little bit of a shift and see some popularity in the WNBA rise. I mean, Caitlin Clark is going to single-handedly sell out the Indiana Fever Stadium on her own. So we'll see how much she can change the game. But it's just been awesome to see. but and then follow that up. I mean, they play at 3 p.m. on Sunday. I honestly don't know. That's not a horrible time. I mean, everyone's like, oh, they should be at 9 p.m. Whatever, whatever. 3 p.m. is not a horrible time on a Sunday. I mean, it's not prime time, fair enough. But then the men's, they were on Monday night at 9:15. Personally, I had no problem watching the women's game. I mean, by the end of One Shining Moment, I was ready to go to bed. But UConn did what they did. They put me and they put Purdue to sleep in the second half. I mean, 75-60, they won, and it was supposed to be a closer matchup than last year. Purdue was supposed to bring something completely different to the table than San Diego State, and they did gameplay wise, but in the outcome, it wasn't really anything different. Zach Edey did his thing, but outside of that, man, I mean, Edey 37 and 10, Braden Smith had 12, Lance Jones had 5, Trey Kaufman-Renn had 4, and Camden Hyde had 2. That's it. That's all they're scoring. So I just don't think Purdue had the game plan they needed. I'm wondering, what do you guys think?
I agree. I mean, it just wasn't like fun to watch in the second half. It just didn't feel competitive at all. And I mean, Edey just absolutely putting his heart out there. I mean, 37 points, like you said. But then you look at UConn and you look at what they do across the board. They just put up so much numbers just through the entire team. I mean, Cam Spencer had 8 rebounds and Edey had 10. I mean, this is Cam Spencer, who's a dude who's not 7'4", nearly getting the same amount of boards as Zach Edey in a national championship game. I mean, Edey had no help, and when you say no help, like literally no help. I mean, and you could definitely make the point that if Purdue's guards come to play, that this team can beat UConn, but that's just simply not going to happen because you have too many threats on UConn that just totally overpower Purdue. And I mean, Tristan Newton played an absolutely amazing game. Stephon Castle, absolutely amazing. And it's like they didn't even need Klingon for what felt like the last 10 minutes. They didn't need their big man, and that's huge. So those are just my thoughts about the game. Just really, really felt bad for Zach Edey out there, as weird as it feels to say that. He had no help.
None.
Yeah, no, I agree. Purdue played such a one-dimensional game. Like outside of Edey in the paint, like immediately like 5 feet away from the basket, they were getting no shots up. And like the fact that they were only able to shoot within 5 feet of the basket is like they neutralized the threes and they neutralized like mid-range jumpers on defense. I think UConn did a very good job of. We'll let Zach Edey drop 37 on us, but nobody else is scoring. So I think that UConn had a great defensive scheme, and it showed that we all knew that UConn was the best team in college basketball. We knew that midseason. We knew that from the second that the brackets were released. Where majority of viewers were like, UConn's going back.
And I just don't know now if the conversation is closed. Is it still open? Is UConn a blue blood at this point? You look
100%, 100%.
6 championships, right?
Yep, 6.
Yeah, I'm giving it to them.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
UConn is blue blood, and the Big East is not a mid-major.
Oh no, Big East is far from a mid-major.
No way.
Seton Hall needed to be in there. Arguably, St. John's, arguably Providence, all should have been in the NCAA tournament. I'm a big East guy. You listen to my guy Pete Shepard tomorrow, 7 to 10 a.m. on the Riptide Sports Network. He'll be talking all about Big East basketball. Maybe not tomorrow, but sometimes. But you look at the rings overall. UCLA with 11. Kentucky with 8, UNC, Kentucky and UNC and UConn with 6, excuse me, and Duke and Indiana with 5. And after that, it gets really a bunch of different teams. But other than UCLA blue blood, Kentucky blue blood, UNC, UConn blue blood, Duke, Indiana blue blood. People our Memphis fans like to say Memphis is a blue blood, but they just don't have that type of resume. I don't think so. And Tobey, you were talking about Edey feeling bad for him, and it makes I feel bad for him because he has to play that game, right? And then now he has to go into the NBA draft circulation rumors where this guy was 1 or 2, and probably not 2 when you look at the best players in college basketball, or at least the ones who impact their teams the most. And now he has to go into the NBA draft conversation where he may not even be in it. There's rumors, he's in some people have him in the first round, some people don't even have him getting drafted. So I don't. You guys think his style fits the league? What do you think?
No, just straight up no.
I,
I feel like I've heard him. I've heard like people say that with proper coaching, he does have the tools to be a great NBA player. But after what I saw just last night, how one dimensional Purdue was as a whole, just people like Zach Edey just being that size, it's always going to be an uphill battle for him to develop into a solid player. I just don't know because he doesn't play the same way as Luka Garza did, but it just kind of gives me that same feel. A big man from the Big Ten who is just so dominant in college basketball. I don't feel like that translates. Like I just don't.
I think that Zach Edey's biggest issue of why he's not getting the draft look is the fact that he can't clear the floor. Zach Edey, we all know it. Zach Edey is not fast, and like that's gonna hurt his draft stock is being able to go up and down the court at the NBA speed. Sure, he's able to do it at the college level, but we all know that the difference between even Power Five and Big Ten basketball, but also making that jump to the NBA, is completely night and day.
Oh, I agree. I'm hearing we got somebody hitting the phones. So I don't. Why don't we go to the phones and see if anyone has any thoughts on Zach Edey potentially going pro? UConn, are they a blue blood? We want to hear from the callers. So go right to the phones. You're on the air with the Lastella Report on the Bleacher Brothers Sports Network. How you
Good
doing?
day, Rob.
Oh, what's up, Drew?
What's
Good,
going on,
man.
Drew?
Yeah, sure. Go for it. Go
Let's
for it.
get into it, Drew.
Oh, did we lose him?
Yeah, he just got out. Drew,
Well,
call back.
that was a sign. That was a sign. They don't want us to talk
We
about
can't get into it
basketball
yet.
until
Nope.
Thursday. Drew, if you
His
call back, we'll get you in here.
his FA
Oh
his
wait, wait,
F
wait, wait,
Wait,
wait,
I
his F Wi-Fi cut out. Get the VPN out, Drew.
Christian, hold on. Drew, are you there? No, we lost
Nos.
you.
Yeah.
There.
Lost you right before you started talking about what your question was. So in terms of the portal player, I really don't think people should be reading into that as that is the end all be all. That is what we're, that's that could be one player we're recruiting, but that doesn't mean that is the archetype of players. Um, Oh, I guess we can't hear Drew. Well, for our call, or in case for the people at home that didn't hear the question was FAU is currently after a Florida A&M uh, guard, transfer guard. Let me pull up his name here, Kajai Parker. And so Drew was asking his our thoughts on that. And then John Jacobs was supposed to announce his staff today, and it's delayed with no announcement on when it will be announced. But anyway, going back to my answer, I'm not too worried about that. Kajai, he only averaged 6 points and he shot like 30% per game. For those out there who didn't see my tweet, but he's got some. He's a freshman. He's got some raw talent, and who knows? John Jacobs could be trying to work with him. I'm not too worried about that. I'm hearing that FAU is really going after some high level players. That's all I know. That's all I've heard is high level players. So that's all I can give you guys. But then when you look at the coaching delays, it could be something where a contract, something or something business related that's honestly, excuse me, not really too big of a deal. Drew or excuse me, Christian, Toby. I don't know if you guys think anything differently, but neither are really too jumping out to me. Just news, really.
Yeah, no, for me, my biggest thing is my biggest takeaway was what Coach Jake has said about the coaching tree is that there's going to be some D1 assistants coming in. There's somebody with some NBA experience coming in, and a quote high level D2 coach. So Coach Jacobs is once again using his connections. Networking is everything, especially in sports, regardless of the. So just being able to pull people from all different branches and build out his coaching tree. I've also heard stuff. He is keeping a couple FAU coaches internally, so there will be a mix of FAU, some other D1 coaches, somebody from the NBA. I'm hoping it's Eric Spoelstra, but that's not going to happen. And yeah, no. So I'm I'm interested to see what Jacobs's coaching tree is going to look like in the next couple.
Yeah, I
So
mean, you guys have been paying attention to this offseason more than I have, and with just how decimated FAU's been from the transfer portal, it's
Oof.
kind of left a bad taste in my mouth with this team, and I'm just letting Jacobs cook at this point. This offseason has just been everything we really just hoped it wouldn't be, and I'm not gonna jump the gun on any recruits or anything else. I mean, I'm just gonna let Jacobs do what he does and let him put together the team and just see what happens. So that's all I can really say is we'll see. I don't know.
there you have it, Drew. Um,
Listen, we secured future American Conference Player of the Year Trey Carroll for another
We'll
season.
be fine. We will be
We're,
fine.
we're good. The only person on FAU's campus that rivals me for best hair is Trey Carroll.
well, Drew, I hope that answered your question. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sorry that people can't hear you, but we'll get you on another time.
Appreciate it, Drew.
Later, bro.
Well, I didn't want to get too deep into FAU hoops because there really isn't much to talk about. But we'll tune in if we're still here on Thursday. Tune in on Thursday when we're talking FAU hoops. The Birdman himself, the big FAU old head, OG, not old head. That's rude. Will be on with us, so that'll be fun. But going back to this national championship, so you look at a guy like Dan Hurley, right now. That's back-to-back championships at UConn. First school to have back-to-back since Florida. He has a chance to just turn UConn into the best. He's a young coach. He's not going anywhere. He's got the chance to turn UConn into something really, really special. It's already something really, really special. It was something really, really special beforehand. But what's happening right now is he's got a chance to three-peat. But then you hear rumors out there that he could potentially be taking calls from Kentucky, which I don't really see. I know Kentucky's got the money. I know they do, but I just don't know if they. I just don't see. I don't understand a lot of these coaching moves. I wasn't understanding why, for example, Chris Beard from Ole Miss to Arkansas would have been a level move, but really seeing Hurley go from uh, UConn to Kentucky, it just doesn't seem. It seems, yeah, Kentucky is Kentucky, and it's got that stick to it. But he's got basically something, if not better, at UConn. I don't think he goes there. Um, I'm interested to see though who does take Kentucky. That's going to be something to watch because whoever does that, it could start a whole different. What you guys don't realize is this could open up a big wormhole because what I'm hearing right now is Scott Drew, Baylor, is the favor right now to go take the Kentucky job. So let's say he does that. So who's taking over Baylor? Does Baylor try to Baylor? I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it. But all I'm saying is it's a crazy idea, but man, I mean, Baylor's got money. They could throw some money over at our guy Jacobs, get him back there. But in reality, if that happens, I think they go out, they get Tang from Kansas State, and then that opens up Kansas State, and then it's just another cycle of coaching mess. I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on all these coaching changes and whatnot?
Yeah, would you say it was like 57 coaching changes in this offseason alone?
57, yep.
I mean, you talk about who could possibly be getting this job, and I mean, those names that you said, like Scott Drew. I've seen names like Nate Oates, Bruce Pearl, and Sean Miller get thrown around there as well. So that would be pretty cool to see Alabama's coach turn over to Kentucky. But it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with this, because this is a team that's going to expect tournament wins right away with a new coach, and they have not seen a lot of tournament success in recent years. So it will be interesting to see how long this new coach, whoever it is, lasts. Because if he comes in and just isn't good in the tournament right away, I don't know how long he lasts.
Yeah, yeah.
So this may be the highest expectations going into a head coaching job, regardless of Boeheim leaving Syracuse last year, or Coach K leaving Duke. This is the highest expectations that I think a coach will have coming into a job.
Supposedly over the past day and a half or something, Coach Oates did confirm that he is looking to stay at Alabama. However, us FAU fans, we've heard the exact same coach talk over recent memory. But something to note is supposedly there is an extension in the works for Nate Oates to stay at Alabama. But yeah, talking about a coaching carousel, you see it. The fact that there's 57 moves already solidified before the national championship even was played is crazy. And that just shows how fast college sports has to move. Because if you try to wait a little too long, you're gonna miss on your coach.
It's It's 100% the truth. That's why, I mean, that's why you saw, I mean, people, it's such a weird thing. I mean, I couldn't imagine being a little kid and being a college fan in today's world, because, your favorite coach, your favorite player is just out the door. And it's tough to comprehend when you're just like a kid, a fan. But, that's the world we live in. And college is changing. I mean, Kentucky in basketball is going to have a new coach. Alabama in football is going to have a new coach. Already has a new coach.
Yeah.
And so those are two like national programs. Everyone knows them. And so what I'm interested to see over the next decade or so is if they sustain success. That's one thing. I'm sure the fans will follow. But if either of those schools don't sustain success, was the fandom there for Kentucky, or was the fandom there for John
The way.
Calipari or for Alabama? I mean, Alabama and both of those schools, they were successful prior, but it's the recency of it and the volatility of fan bases and whatnot. It just makes me wonder, like, will Alabama be the face of college football in 10 years? Will Kentucky be the school that Drake's throwing on a tracksuit and dancing for in a decade from now? I don't know. And it's just something that's, I wonder.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no. Tobey, you go.
yeah. I don't know, Robbie. It's definitely really interesting, because you look at the landscape of sports as a whole, and it's just really changing for the first time, and I feel like in our lifetime. And it's so weird, because I mean, like you said, Kentucky may not be a powerhouse in basketball anymore. Alabama's going to have a new coach. I mean, like, it's going to be a very, very weird season for both of these sports coming up. And it's not going to change. Like, this is going to be every single offseason probably for the rest of our lives with college sports.
Yeah,
So,
no. There's 100%. There's a power vacuum in college sports now, and a lot of it comes with NIL and with the transfer portal. Everybody has their own opinions on NIL and the transfer portal. We are not getting into that because that'll take up the entire hour show of a debate. But like whoever gets the Kentucky job, like we've all been talking about, is literally just getting handed the keys to a Ferrari. Kentucky is one of the, like, obviously they're a blue blood. They are one of the most historically known college basketball programs. The same way where it was Saban's leaving Alabama, and the coach from Washington that got the job. It's Buddy. Buddy now has the keys to a Ferrari. Is he going to be able to drive it, or is he going to wrap it around a tree? Like, what's going to happen? Is because like personally, Robbie, you said something about or Alabama being the face of college football. Bama hasn't been the face of college football in 3 years. It's been Georgia.
Well, yeah, but you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
yeah,
That's that Bama.
overall.
yeah. Blitz, Bama, blitz.
Yeah,
But
like, it's Bama.
I don't give
Roll
a piss
Tide.
but the Tide. Uh,
He's the real
but yeah,
coach. He's calling the shots.
yeah. Give Drewski the job, man. Just give Drewski.
Yeah, Drew. I see in the chat. I see some names in the comments for that
No,
Kentucky job.
no,
Billy
not that.
Donovan.
I liked Rajon Rondo. Whoever said that, Melissa McAllister with Rajon Rondo. I saw that. That'd be funny. But hey, you never know. Maybe he's another Penny Hardaway. Maybe he wants to come back. I don't know. But
I can't take
I
another one of those, Robbie. I can't.
water bottles.
I don't know. I don't know. But the biggest question for me though is just like what I don't know what's more of a problem. Is it the portal or is it the coaching carousel? And it's honestly there is no answer because both equally suck in my opinion. But hey, that's nothing against these players who are going into the portal or these coaches who are making double their salary. I mean, I would like to make double my salary. Everyone would like to make double their salary. I mean, that's just the reality of it. And so you can't get mad at them, but it's just like, man, the college has to find a way to make sure that 5-year-old who's a fan of FAU isn't heartbroken when inevitably somebody leaves.
He's an FAU fan. Been heartbroken his entire life.
Yeah, maybe you should get used to it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a little life lesson with college sports right now. You
Yep.
just life's not fair, and now kids are going to learn that when they're 4 years old rooting for their favorite college team. So,
Yep.
But see, with a school like FAU though, I don't know if that 5-year-old was there 2 years ago. Like FAU is here and now, and I feel for the
I
younger
wasn't here now with FAU until last year.
I don't want to get into FAU too much tonight, but all I'm going to say is I feel awful for the 5 to 10-year-old fans.
I feel awful for us too. I feel awful for everybody.
But yeah, but
I get what you're saying. It's so tough.
it is.
Just
We're
to be a
grown,
fan. It's just right now. It's just like it's exhausting.
we're grown folks though. Like we should at the end of
We
the
can
day.
handle it. We can handle it.
Hopefully, I mean, gosh, hopefully people do understand that. Like, you look at a guy. I'm not. We're not going to do this tonight. But it. At the end of the day, these guys they're just seeking out what's best for them, and you can't judge them. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, NCAA does need to do something about it.
Like, don't get me wrong. I was a former college athlete. I am all for every athlete. If you are able to capitalize off of your success, if you are able to get financial compensation at any point throughout your career, get your money, bro. Because here's the thing. Less than 2% of any player or any of those 5 to 10-year-olds that steps foot on a court, a pool, or a field, less than 2% of them are able to play in college. And less than 1% of those kids are going pro. So it's any chance you get to earn money off of the sport that you love and that you grew up on, get it. Now that it's legal and you're not Johnny Manziel in your way through it, we're good. Like, get as many acai bowls and pineapples as you can. Like,
Right here in Boca Raton, Florida, NIL capital of the world. Because we got acai bowls in the husk of a pineapple. You know
Who
who doesn't?
doesn't love it? Who doesn't love it?
I don't
we've
think
got
I don't
we've
think
got
Kentucky has an acai place. I don't think so.
we've got acai bowls and we've got Vinny's Cafe. I don't know any Vinny's cafes in Provo, Utah. Sorry, BYU fans.
Living in paradise, baby. Living in paradise.
Wow.
I use, normally, I mean, people would close a college basketball segment with some type of early predictions. I don't do that nonsense. It's stupid. You can't, especially with today's college basketball world, you can't say, I like how Kansas is going to look next year. Who knows if Kansas is going to have half their roster? But all I'm going to say is, I hope college basketball next season was as entertaining as it was this year because I had a pretty good year covering college basketball myself, and I think everyone else enjoyed it too.
I agree. My thing is we need to start looking out for the mid majors because somebody said it on Twitter and I completely agree with it. Mid majors are getting picked apart through the portal the exact same way that JUCOs are because you're just finding whoever's good on the mid majors and you're plucking them from the portal by throwing a bag at them. So like we can just look in the conference. FAU, Charlotte, and North Texas have completely different teams than they did a week ago.
Yep, yep.
Like like it's going to be a totally new starting five. Like FAU right now has what like four dudes that were on the roster that haven't hit the portal or graduated yet, and
Like
two of
my,
them were.
that's the world we're living in.
Yep,
But yeah,
college sports.
that's NCAA in 2024. But hey, we are going to take a quick break here on the Bleacher Brothers Sports Network. We'll come back with some MLB and NBA right after this. This is the Lastella Report with Robbie Lastella, Tobey Schulman, and Christian Proscia. We'll be right back. I'm missing our like 80s and 70s themed commercials, but we'll get those back soon enough. I got a chance to go look at the Yankees score real quick. They're beating up on the Fish 1-0. I love it. I love it.
Dude, what was that break music? I felt like I was at the club.
It,
Yeah,
before Tobey started on his sports media journey, he still is a DJ. So we gotta get a
Little
set,
something like that.
we gotta get a
so we
set list in here.
got Tobey on the tables right now.
Tobey on the decks.
Hey man,
Oh, 2-0 Yanks, Rob.
2-0.
2-0.
I love it. I
Let's
love
go.
it.
1-11
Stanton
Marlins.
double.
I think it's so. I mean, we'll dive right into baseball with that. But I think the Marlins may be one of the worst teams I've seen in a while. I mean, I didn't do too much research into it, to be fair. So I don't know the historical whatnots of it, but the
I,
eye
w-
test is not passing.
I will say it's not. They've had a lot of bad luck already. I mean, me and Christian talked about this before. I don't know if you heard Robbie, but Yuri Perez going down when they absolutely babied him last year. I mean, this is a 20-year-old kid who's younger than me, or not younger than me. He's older than me by a couple of months. But he was ready for the big leagues when he was 19, and they babied his arm so he wouldn't throw it out and end up having to get surgery or miss an entire season, and that's what happened. So I mean, it's just they've been unlucky, but they're really just not putting it together right now.
I know. I think it was my dad who told me. My dad breaking the news, but the Marlins had like 5 pitchers out to start the season. That's unbearable luck. But
Yeah.
I think that's been the issue across baseball this season.
Hmm.
I just saw it. I don't know, where did it go? I had the list of it. Yeah, I mean, you look at these names, Toby. Let me rattle off some of these names that are not pitching right now. Justin Verlander, Brandon Woodruff, Clayton Kershaw, They're all out. Or Brandon Woodruff's out for the year. Clayton Kershaw, Justin Verlander out indefinitely. Drew Rasmussen out for the year. Max Scherzer out indefinitely. Shohei Otani, or no, I don't
No,
know
he's
why.
not pitching. You're right. He's not pitching.
Yeah, he's not pitching. So it's like those are big names that are just not pitching.
And it's even more than that, Robbie. I mean, I'm like you said a lot of them right there, but I can't remember if you said Spencer Strider, Shane Bieber, Jonathan Loazica,
Walker
and
Buehler.
Walker Bueller, Josiah Gray, the Nationals ace, just went down on the 15-day IL with either an elbow strain or elbow soreness. But this is really becoming a problem. And MLB Players Association, they sent something to Major League Baseball questioning whether or not it may have been the pitch clock that's causing all these injuries. MLB responded with, you know what, we're not even going to look into that. I mean, it's speeding up the length of the games, and I mean they've been more entertaining in my opinion. I've watched more baseball this year so far than I have in a while, and the games are a lot more entertaining. They're faster, but I mean these guys are just falling at an insane pace. It's reminding me of the NFL with all these starting QBs going down last year. I just hope to watch when all these ace pitchers are going down and we start seeing AAA arms in July.
Oh, hold on. Josiah Gray went to Lemoyne.
He was a Lemoyne Dolphin.
Oh, let's go. I mean, I know some. I mean, Lemoyne, surprisingly, for being in the mid, like as far as you can go northeast, Syracuse up there. I actually know. I mean, I know two lacrosse players there. I've been watching some basketball, and now with Josiah Gray, who knew all these connections to Lemoyne, baby?
They're good. They're a D1 now, so
I was about to say I know two of their Lax Bros too.
they got a good lax team.
They do. Two of the guys that I went to Kings with play out at Lemoyne right now.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
So there you go. I mean, Lemoyne, athletic powerhouse. But I mean, now away from Lemoyne, because we'd love to do a podcast on Lemoyne. Go
Oh,
check
I'd
out
love
Mid
it.
Major Madness for that. But no, but when you look at some of these injuries in baseball, pitchers, it's the game switched to an offensive like aggression. I saw Justin Verlander do a whole interview on this. So you can find it on Twitter somewhere. But when the game switched to an offensive standpoint, there was no adjustment for the pitchers. Like they switched the balls in 2016, he said, and at some point they needed to adjust to the pitchers, and they never did. And now they have pitchers that are trying to just strike guys out, throw 102 miles an hour, and it's hurting their arms in the pros. But where it's really going to be an issue is the trickle down effect when a minor leaguer or a high schooler throwing as hard as they can out of control because they're just trying to hit their max velo. And I mean, I didn't even play baseball, so I don't really know the mechanics of it, but it's common sense. You yank your arm as hard as you can. That's not the best mechanics in it for anything.
No, I mean it's never a good combination to just throw as hard as you can whenever. And you're right. I mean, the trickle down is gonna be brutal. I mean, showcase culture as a whole. I mean, whenever you go to like a showcase, I mean, kids are gonna be talking about how hard they throw, not like where I located so well in my bullpen. It's like, oh no, I hit 95, 96. And it makes me scared for these prospects that come out of the draft, like Christian Noblemeyer, a kid that just got drafted by the Marlins. Like this is a kid who's younger than me. He's like 18, 19 years throwing
Proscia.
102 miles an hour. I mean,
That was the dude who looked like he was 12 years old,
yep.
right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Because he probably is. Like he's fresh out of high school, and yeah, like you said, when it's all you're doing is trying to throw gas at a wall, and somebody has a radar gun, so you can have like a top velo. It's just you're just gonna end up blowing your arm out, whether it's your elbow or whether it's your shoulder. And that's something that doesn't get talked about as much with because everybody talks about Tommy John, everybody talks about the elbow injuries. It's the same thing with the shoulders, man. Like like if you're not careful, you are going to just wear your arm down before you're even legally able to drink. Like like by the time they get to like our age, and like by no means are we old heads or anything. Like we're like a combined age of like what, 20? Like 21, 20?
yeah,
Like all these kids, because they're more worried, like you said, about, yeah, I can throw 95, I can throw 97, and instead of doing it the right way and getting bigger, stronger, it's all right, I'm 16 and I'm throwing 90. Get me my contract.
no, it's some interesting stuff to think about. I mean, it's like the NCAA, like we were just talking about with that transfer portal. Baseball has their own dilemma, and it's how are they going to complement the fun part of the game that they've now developed with safety. I mean, at the end of the day, you need pitchers to make baseball, and if half of them are blowing out their arms before they even get to the big leagues, it's not good. So
and
I've
now
got
and now you've got a real advantage to the batters because if you look like at a bullpen like the Marlins, their whole bullpen is depleted. So it's like in like a week or in a series, it's all right. I've got like all right tonight. I have to go up against Jesus Luzardo, but like today, it's AJ Puck bump day. That's a home run derby. Like
yeah.
so where it's like when you're scouting, it's okay. Half of the Marlins bullpen has 1.5 arms, so it's you're able to you're gonna sweep a series or win a series when you get down the depth chart. Because also another thing like the Marlins, which I spoke about the last time I was on a podcast with Bleacher Brothers, is they have a good starting core. I'm also including Sandy and Yuri in that conversation.
as you
But when
should.
you yeah, because they are starting pitchers. So those two, Jesus Luzardo, Max Meyer, and then like AJ Puck should be your fifth starting pitcher. Now when that dude's your two, or Trevor Rogers, and then you have no bullpen depth on receiver or not receivers on relievers and on closers. Don't laugh at me, Robbie.
I'm holding
So
back my laughter, brother. No, but I feel you. I feel you. I've just it's. It feels like I feel like I mean, as soon as we started baseball, we talked about how bad the Marlins were, and we dived into injuries. I mean, we haven't talked about anything positive.
Yeah, no, we gotta switch it a little
How
bit.
about the Pirates? I mean,
How about them, dude? Out of
the
all teams to
the
talk
Pirates
about right
lost today.
now,
what?
no, but they come on, they got 9 wins, and he said his Pirates lost today. I'm pretty sure,
Yeah,
but
yeah. Let's talk about a positive. The Pirates they lost 5-3 to the
well,
Tigers.
we were trying to make it a positive thing, and
I
you
know.
turned it negative.
Big picture,
I'm sorry.
Christian.
That's on me, guys.
I
That's on
mean,
me.
you sat in Dusty May's press conferences the whole year. We are not outcome based, game by game, step by step, baby. Pirates
Coach talk.
baseball. Exactly. AJ's preseason pick. Pirates. Exactly. Pirates, baby.
That was seriously the best
Praise to
preseason
Jolly
pick of the
Roger.
entire time. I mean, this team, like, if they overperformed last year to start the year, but if they can do that again and then call up some of these pitchers like Paul Skeens, Quinn Priester, I mean, imagine these high level prospects. And when I say high level, I mean Paul Skeens is the best pitching prospect we've ever seen. Like
Yes.
Steven Strasburg comps, anybody who earned that top prospect as a pitcher, Skeens is better than they were coming up. And this is a big league ready pitcher now. And I mean, if you bring these guys up and they're still playing the way they are, you get some of these guys that are injured on the Pirates back. I mean, like I see a comment like they might be the Orioles for this year. I mean, they might be.
It's possible. I mean, I tried facing Paul Skeens. I had to in MLB the Show, the video game. I had to try to hit like
That's a task.
I had to try to hit 3 extra base hits off him the same inning. Impossible. So I just know that this dude is going to be good in the pros based off of that because I'm pretty decent at those challenges usually. So that's how I'm judging it. But we'll see. We'll see. But
Yeah, Livy Dunn's boyfriend's pretty good at baseball.
He's
But
all right.
AJ's other pick, the Blue Jays right now are up 5-0 on the Mariners at the end of the fifth.
Christian, you're stealing Steven Luker's job. We should have brought him in for sports updates. On Thursday, we will. Steven, we will bring you in on Thursday because Christian just doesn't bring that same energy. Exactly. I'm missing it. I'm missing it right about now. Nah, but, and besides the Pirates, the Yankees, that's my team. I mean,
That's our team, Rob. We gotta touch on it. We gotta touch on it.
I mean, I'll raise the Jolly Roger. I'll be here for the good story, but the Yankees are back. We're hitting. We've got some starting pitching. The bullpen's a little shaky, but it'll work itself out.
I mean, yeah, like you said, it'll work itself out. The bullpen is usually the strong part of this Yankees team, so I'm not worried about that. I was very worried about this rotation holding up without Garrett Cole and Luis Gill. I mean, he looks great. Rodon looks great. Nestor put together an 8 inning start yesterday. So if we could just hold on, man, I think we're looking good. And I've been talking to Yankee fans a lot the last couple weeks, and we're all in just agreements right now. We're just enjoying it because we know that inevitable losing streak's going to happen, and when it does, it's going to suck. It's going to suck, but
I
we're
just
enjoying it.
I just hope it's good baseball. You know, the Yankee games that used to be like 2-1 when the hitting was bad. And it was just like DJ LeMahieu and Joey Gallo hitting like 190. Joey Gallo. I don't even know why I brought that up. It brings back bad memories.
Bad memories, man.
I don't even know. Christian,
Yeah.
you're a Marlins fan?
I'm a Marlins fan by region. My dad grew up in New York. He grew up in the Bronx. I am a Yankee. Well,
It's the
I,
better
I,
choice.
I'm actually named after a Yankee, my middle name. Not telling everybody, but you would never figure out what my middle name is. So I am named by a Yankee. After a Yankee. But also talking about the Yankees bullpen, and we talked about Nestor and having a great game yesterday. His team was so confident in his pitching performance. Like the outfielders were signing mid-game autographs yesterday against the Marlins.
Oh, we should
Is
have got
that
a clip.
Nestor's that guy, or the Marlins are that bad? Like Juan Soto was signing autographs mid-game yesterday. Steven, I think we got the clip if we want to boot that up.
Love to see that.
I think it's just showing how big of an impact Juan Soto is able to make. I mean, he comes on the scene, Yankees start winning again. He's getting signing autographs mid game. That's that Yankee swagger, almost.
I've been missing it, man. We needed it. We really did. Judge doesn't bring that type of swag to the field. I mean,
and I know if there's any Yankee fan or non-Yankee fans that are watching this, they probably want to smack me across the face because they're like, "Oh, it's a Yankee fan." Ugh. Bleh. I haven't seen good Yankees baseball in quite a while, so just let me enjoy it until the inevitable fall off. Please.
Yeah. Let it happen.
Let's see it.
There we go. I didn't think this was real when I saw it last night. I thought this was just like a in between innings type of thing, but
no, because if you look later in the clip, he literally gets back.
All the other fielders are lined up like they're playing. I mean, this is mid game. Oh my god!
Look.
But you see, that's head on a swivel. That's only something you can do if you're a pro's pro.
That's a superstar right there.
Yeah, that I think that's more in on the fact of he knows how terrible the Marlins situational hitting is, and knows that they're not sending anything close to him. Yes, sorry Marlins fans, y'all haven't gotten that free $3 Whopper yet.
But
is this like Pistons and Wingstop, Christian? Is this like the same thing? Or?
Dude, it's the exact same thing.
Oh man.
See, but like this is so in the NBA, if you get too close to the fans, like if you try to do that in an NBA game, somebody is calling security, and then you're getting ejected and banned from the stadium. MLB, it's all for it. Grab a hot dog, like chug a beer when sitting like. I love the player fan interactions in baseball a lot more than the NBA. I mean, I hate the clips where you see NBA. I mean, within reason now. I mean, sometimes these fans in the NBA arenas are a little out of hand and they need to be tossed out. But I can't imagine that all of these player guys need to be tossed out sometimes in the NBA. But that's just me. I think the fans need to stay as long as they're really not causing too much of an issue. But I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think especially because like he was like he's signing for like I think it was a kid. Like do it for the kids, man, because we've been talking about like the 5 to 10 year olds. Like imagine it being in our shoes where it's you get your favorite player's autograph. That is a surreal feeling. Like it enlightens the game for you so much more, and it like you like especially as a little kid, you already put these guys on a pedestal. They're already in a certain pedigree in your life. Now being able to interact with them, get their autograph, that is a big thing for the kids. So like me when I saw that, I was real happy to see that. Like a lot of people were trolling it on social media, and I think that's partially because he's now a Yankee. but it's just do it for the kids, man, because at the end of the day, they're the future generations, they're the future of the sport, and it's baseball is kind of dying according to the media. So it's you get the kids locked. Yes, you get the kids locked in, and it's now their love is still with the game. That's why I think one of the best things for the sport is the Savannah Bananas.
I agree. I
I
agree.
also agree with that.
I
It's
agree.
100 times more fun. It
Yeah.
is 100 times more fun going to a Savannah Bananas game than going to another than going to a regular baseball game.
I've been to a bunch of Savannah Banana games. They're awesome. The atmosphere is there. The fans are there. I mean, they used to play at Roger Dean Stadium, the Marlins or the Cardinals like single A affiliate stadium, and now they had to play at Marlins Stadium this year. And everywhere across the country they're playing in pro ballparks, and they're going to sell them out. And I think it's like the Harlem Globetrotters, but on crack. Like they're actually like something that people
Still,
want to watch. Exactly. But speaking of things people want to watch, I mean, the NBA is in action tonight. Um,
the MLB does not need one of their players to date
We
Taylor.
don't.
huh?
NFL can keep Taylor.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
It,
even see this.
Travis Kelce.
No. I mean, I think who'd you say Paul Skeens? Livy Dunn, right? Yeah.
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 That's the equivalent. Well, we're good with that.
So there you go.
Living Dunn's not a headache.
She'll be on every Pirates broadcast as soon as Skeens gets called up. I mean, you could book that.
There you go. No, but so yeah, no NBA in action tonight as well. MLB was I didn't see as many scores for some reason. Mine wasn't popping up when I was looking at baseball scores, but I got the NBA right in front of me. The Sixers are only hanging on by 7 right now over the Pistons. That could help the Heat out. Heat are trying to climb up those standings a little bit. Yep, Heat culture.
Heat culture.
Heat were up in like the third standings, but now they've fallen apart. Who else we got in action tonight? Pacers. They're closing out of the Raptors. Mavs over the Hornets, 99-87. Heat holding a 9-point lead right now over the Hawks, 69-60. They got to win that game. They can't be faltering down the stretch. Bucks 69-50 over the Seas. Interesting. Nothing too crazy. No upsets jumping out at me yet. Kings over the Thunder right now. I
That's
don't know.
Pistons keeping it close.
Pistons are keeping it close. I I don't see right now how any team's really going to compete with Boston in the East. I mean, they've ran through the East this year. I mean, 62-16. The next closest team is 47-31. The Bucks. Um,
And they're starting to skid right now. They're on a 4-game losing streak too. So that's compared to Boston's 5. So yeah, I agree. I don't think anybody touches Boston right now.
Listen, I don't care what anybody says. I am taking a playoff Heat team over anybody. Like, I'm not even being biased or anything. It is shown year in and year out. Playoff Jimmy Butler is a different breed. Bam is heating up. Triple J is heating up. Duncan Robinson, White Boy of the Year, he's doing pretty good. Like playoff Heat is no joke. Like, yeah, they didn't look good in the regular season, but when it matters the most, the Heat rise to the occasion. They have done it consistently throughout this entire franchise's relevance.
Whenever UConn wins the national championship too, I'm pretty
Yep.
sure the Heat every single time have gone to the finals. So I mean, we could pretty much place a futures bet right now.
I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibilities. The Heat, though, I mean, they got their work cut out for them. I mean, they'd have to go to, as it stands right now.
They'd
I
probably have to get playing.
Yeah, and they just have their work cut out for them. I mean, the other teams in the East, the Knicks, like I think Kevin put in the chat, I saw it before. The Knicks, I mean, I don't, something fell down here, but the Knicks, Jalen Brunson has really just taken over since he's got there, and I'm waiting for them to make that playoff type of noise. And is this the year? Is this the year that they finally get past the Heat or get past the Sixers? Or I don't know. I just don't know if it is. But
The Heat own the Celtics in the playoffs as well. I'm not saying anything, but that's a historical just to keep on your minds from recent memory.
I don't know. I think, but as usual, I look at this and then I look at the West, and I'm just as it is every year. I don't follow the NBA too much, but when playoff time comes around, I do, and I'm just like, the team from the Western Conference is going to win it. I just don't see. Minnesota's looked good. I went to a Heat game earlier this year. I saw Minnesota. They've looked good. Anthony Edwards is really just coming into his own. And then between Cat and Gobert, I mean that's a dynamic duo, and so that they're utilizing big men effectively. So you think of a guy like Zach Edey, and I think Drew said it before when he was on. Somebody can find a fit for Edey, and if they do, they got themselves somebody serious. I don't know. Why don't we go to the phones one more time and see if anyone has some thoughts on the NBA before we head out of here? I don't know. Is there anyone on the phones at this point in time? I don't really know. We got a couple before we wind down. You're on the air with the Lastella Report. I'm going to keep saying the Bleacher Brothers show. But hey, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Is this Mateo?
Sounds like it. What's up, Mateo?
Say that again, Mateo? Yep.
We can hear you. The viewers just can't.
For me, I mean, my NBA knowledge is kind of, I guess, but when that's the best way to try to pick it when you haven't been following it so crazy. And a little bit I have watched this year. The Pacers have jumped out to me as a really good team. I just don't know if they've got enough to make noise in the playoffs. I mean, Orlando, Paolo, is it their year? Maybe. Again, it comes down to can they cook in the playoffs, and there's just that added pressure. And you look at a team like the Pacers and the Magic; those are young gun led teams. So I lean to look at a team like the Knicks, in my opinion, as a dark horse team. I mean, they've been there, they've got veterans, they've got young guys. I think if they can figure out a way to pull it all together, why isn't this the Knicks year? I don't know.
I agree with that, and I mean, looking at dark horses, I definitely think Pacers and Knicks are the two that are definitely there for the East. But like you said, I mean, a combination of everything. You got vets on the team. You've got all-stars on the team. I don't believe Julius Randle's playing for the rest of the year, is he?
No, he's done.
Yeah, so I mean, but that's even better for them because honestly, Julius Randle sucks in the playoffs anyway. So I would take the Knicks. I think this is the Knicks year, and I'm gonna have to side with my roommate Kevin on this one. That if they do play the Heat, I think this is the year that the Knicks get them.
Christian, on the spot, you have to give us a team from the Western Conference because me and Tobey both have Eastern Conference.
The Thunder.
Yes.
If I'm taking a team from the West, I'm taking the Thunder or I'm taking the Mavericks to go to the finals. And then from the East, if I have to give a dark horse, I'm actually taking the Cavs. I don't know why, but like the Cavs, they just there's something that's just looking good about them. Like I love Donovan Mitchell personally. I think Donovan Mitchell is one of the more underrated superstars in the NBA. So if I had to take a pick, I'm taking the 5 seed Cavs, but that's excluding the Heat, obviously.
So there you have it, folks at home. I'm sorry if you can't hear our caller. The question was dark horses from either conference. But yeah, so that's what that's our thoughts. Mateo, thank you for calling in. We're gonna work in another night, hopefully when the great people can hear you. So that was Mateo. Thank you again for calling. But yeah, so we're wrapping up here. Tobey, I think FAU baseball was in action tonight. I don't want to forget about them before we get out of here.
Yeah, we'll do just a quick little recap of that. They're still playing. They're in Coral Gables right now, taking on Miami for the third time this season. And the game actually just wrapped up 3 minutes ago, 14-6 final. Miami did take this one. So there'll be a recap out on Bleacher Brothers hopefully by either tonight or tomorrow morning. And yeah, FAU now, not positive what their record is, but they have a 5-4 conference record going up to Wichita to face Wichita State. So that'll be an important series. Dropping 2 or 3 from ECU really hurt. So don't want to talk about it for too much because that's what we'll be doing Thursday. But that's for now what's going on with FAU.
Glad to hear it. FAU baseball, check them out. FAU basketball, FAU football. We'll cover it all for you on Thursday night for our show. But that's all we got for you guys tonight. I hope you enjoyed our first show, our first edition of the Lastella Report. We got more for you Thursday, all FAU edition. Mike Birdman, maybe a special guest. Stay tuned. Follow Bleacher Brothers on Twitter, X, Instagram, all the above. Have a good night, everybody.